Sexual intimacy in a relationship is supposed to be about love, about connection, about bonding between two people. But when you are dealing with someone who is toxic, narcissistic, then sex is going to be used as a weapon against you. You might not think it. You might be thinking that there's issues with you and why the two of you are not connecting, or you might feel that it has become a very strange experience. Sometimes they even weaponize sex against you to control you, to manipulate you. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I hope that you're all doing really well. So in this much requested video, I really wanted to look at how narcissists actually use sex as a tool. And this tool is used as a weapon against you. And you might be thinking, this is so strange, this is so weird. But the thing is, intimacy for a narcissist doesn't mean the same thing as it does for you. Whether you're currently in a relationship with a narcissist right now, or maybe you have left that relationship altogether and you're trying to make sense or piece the pieces together, this is essential information that will empower you. To understand why a narcissist would weaponize sex and use it as a tool against you, you have to understand what intimacy and what control means for a narcissist. The thing is, control is the most important thing for a narcissist. And the reason why is because they have to know the outcome. So they need to be able to maneuver the experience, the situation, so that it goes their way. And that comes from a deep-seated insecurity, or feeling out of control, or feeling inadequate themselves. So if you're doing that to someone else, then that means that you are going to feel like you can manipulate. Like, you see people as transactional. Okay, so people don't mean anything. They are just objects. There's something called objectification. So that's where you don't connect or you don't bond to another human being and you see them as objects. So you just use them as pawns or as tools in order to manipulate them to get a certain outcome. Usually that's emotional manipulation to make someone feel a certain way. So when you get that person into that emotional state, you've got them. That's when the narcissist is able to control. So it's not any different when we're talking about sex, because this is a human need. Like, everybody needs it, everybody wants it, everybody enjoys it. So when you think about it, in order to control someone or to manipulate someone, if you take away that essential need that somebody wants and requires, like food, for example, we require food to be able to live. Sex is also an essential human need. So when you take that away, or when you manipulate how and when you give it, or how and when you deliver it, that means that that person is reliant on you for that actual thing. So it's kind of like a dependency. So when you are giving or taking away intimacy, you are then doctoring or manipulating somebody else's emotions. And that's ultimately what is going on here. That's why they're doing it. It's almost like a mind game. So when you're wanting it, you are dependent on the narcissist. That keeps you hooked and punished for longer. So here are a few common ways that narcissists will weaponize sex against you. First of all, we've got the love bombing. Like I mentioned earlier, they're going to try and tell you everything that you want to hear, do everything that you want to do, so that you then start to let your guard down, you start to trust this person, and you start to believe in this person. You start to feel comfortable, and you then start to believe everything that this person is saying and doing. There's the hook. There is the hook. They've got you. By this point, they have got you. When you're in that situation, you never think that someone would be like this, would ever do this to you. So when you're in it, you don't see it, you don't notice, you don't realize. But this is exactly what's going on in a narcissist's head. So they know that by that point, they've got you. You're hooked, you're reliant, you're dependent. Then comes the shift. So once they know that you are hooked and you are wanting something from them, that is when they turn everything 360 and then they start to manipulate you. They start to maneuver and orchestrate this agenda, because that's what it feels like. It feels like there's this other kind of like plan that's going on that you don't even know about. Suddenly the affection is gone, there's a withdrawal, there might not even be any communication at this point, but what they're doing is they are removing themselves from you. So think about it, right? They give all of themselves. They're the best version of what you would want someone to be. So they're pretending to be someone that you would desire and want. They're telling you what you want, and then they take that away. You are then left thinking, what on earth has just happened? This is totally confusing. And what you're most likely to do is then internalize this and think that you have done something wrong, when in actual fact, you haven't. But this person is playing this game. So then once this intimacy is gone, there's the withdrawal. You then start to question yourself and think, well, what did I actually do here? Like, why has this happened? What has gone wrong? And that's the hook, because then what you're doing is you're then chasing the approval from that person. That's the hook. And this is really sad, because then sex becomes functional. So there isn't that connection. There isn't that pleasure. There isn't that togetherness, that bond, that when we really think about it in healthy relationships, that's what intimacy really is about. It's when two people who really feel and love each other, that's when they bond. That's when they attach and connect to one another. It's also an expression of feelings, of emotions. But what happens is with a narcissist, there may be that in the beginning, but then with the withdrawal stage, that then is severed and there is no connection. That's why you're left feeling like this is the most strangest experience. Like, why is this happening? It almost is very distant and becomes robotic or mechanical. The emotional damage from this type of interaction is profound, because this is the weapon. It's used to destroy you. The destroying part is the manipulation. You internalize this and think that there is something wrong with you. It eats away at your self-esteem. You feel like you're not good enough. You then might start to make up scenarios in your head and think that maybe there is someone else that is giving my partner, or that person that I love, pleasure, and I can't do that. So this is where it's eroding your confidence and you're internalizing all of this. It might even go deeper, because if these are triggers or these are childhood wounds, you might even think that maybe there is something wrong with you, that you're not good enough, that this person doesn't want you. There's also elements of rejection and abandonment that's tied up in all of this. So these are the profound effects that this act can have on someone. So how do you recognize or see the signs if someone is doing this to you? The first thing is the sudden shifts in intimacy, the hot and cold, the wanting you so badly and then can't stand to be near you. Somebody who is healthy doesn't have these shifts. So this is a huge one to look out for. Sex is used as a reward. Well, no, not really. It's a connection. It's a bond that two people share that should actually be felt together. But the thing is, when someone is using sex as a reward, it means that if you comply, if you do something that that person wants, then they will give you the prize. That is all about conditional love. Or they might withhold it as a punishment. So if you didn't do something, or you didn't comply, or you didn't do what that person wanted from you, then they're going to use it as a punishment. They're going to use it as something against you. So can you see how sex is used as a manipulation? If you're good, you'll get it. If you're not, you won't. Again, it's a human need. It's not about whether you're good or bad. It's a human need. It's like food. If you need it, you want it. You should have it. It shouldn't be on a reward or a punishment system. And finally, you got to look out for the emotional detachment during sex. Sex, like I said before, is between two people that want to bond, that want to show their love for one another. It's an expression of love. It's an expression of kindness, happiness that two people feel towards one another. So if that is detached, if it feels weird, robotic, that you feel like there's no one there, then this is a huge telltale sign. If you are dealing with this, or you have found yourself in this situation, what you have to understand that it's not about you. It's not that you couldn't satisfy. It's not that you couldn't do something. This is what this person does. They are very damaging and very toxic. This person uses it as a tool to control you or to control anyone. The longer that you stay entangled in this type of dynamic, the deeper the effects will be. And that's what you have to understand. It's not about you, it's about them. It's their inability to be able to connect. So I really hope that this video has helped you to understand that it's not you, that This person uses sex as a weapon against you. Sex as a way to control you. That's not what sex is. That's not what intimacy is. That's what not connection and a bond is. But when someone has an attachment disorder, this is how they will behave. So guys, I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have found value in it, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Please forward this to someone if you feel that it might help. And if you are going through this and would like to talk to someone about it, please know that I do offer one-to-one consultations. Please see the description box below. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.